Let's be honest, folks. America hasn't always had the best track record when it comes to, well, a lot of things. But one thing we've been pretty good at, sucking up talent and ambition like a Hoover on a shag carpet. People come here, legally and not so legally, for one big, beautiful reason: opportunity. For some, it's about escaping poverty so grinding it makes your teeth ache just thinking about it. They're chasing the dream of a decent job, maybe even a shot at owning their own piece of the pie. Others are fleeing violence, persecution, or governments that make you wonder if they drew inspiration from a dystopian novel. And then there are those who just want to be with their families. Imagine having to choose between your home country and your spouse, your kids, your parents. It's a heartbreaker, and it's a choice thousands are forced to make every year. The point is, the reasons for coming here are as diverse as the folks who make the journey, but the common thread: hope. The hope for a better life, for themselves and for their kids. Now let's talk about ICE, baby. No, not the kind that keeps your beer cold. We're talking about immigration and customs enforcement. Think of them as the bouncers of the US, making sure only those with the right stamp get in and stay in. ICE's job is to enforce immigration laws. That means tracking down people who are here illegally, detaining them, and yep, you guessed it, deporting them. They also go after human trafficking rings and try to stop illegal stuff from sneaking across the border. Sounds simple enough, right? But here's the thing. Immigration law is about as clear as a swamp after a hurricane. It's complicated, constantly changing, and can leave people who've been here for years, working hard and paying taxes, feeling like they're one wrong step away from being shipped back to square one. Now let's get real about deportation. It's not pretty. Imagine being ripped away from your home, your job, your entire life, and shipped back to a country you might barely remember. That's deportation in a nutshell. It can happen for a lot of reasons. Sometimes it's because someone overstayed their visa, sometimes it's because they messed up on their paperwork, and sometimes it's because they were caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mass deportation takes this to a whole other level. We're talking about rounding up and deporting large groups of people at once. It's controversial, to say the least, and it often tears families apart. Look, I'm not here to tell you how to feel about immigration. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. But I do think it's important to try to understand the human stories behind the headlines. Take Maria, for example. She came here from Mexico when she was a kid. She speaks perfect English, graduated top of her class, and dreams of being a doctor. But because she was brought here illegally, she lives in constant fear of being deported. Or how about John, who fled his home country to escape persecution for his religious beliefs? He's been living here legally for years, working hard and contributing to his community. But one minor brush with the law, and he could be facing deportation. These are just two examples of the millions of immigrants living in the US. They're our neighbors, our colleagues, our friends. They're part of the fabric of this country, and their stories deserve to be heard.